Hey, what's up, my little Tattle Tells? How are you doing? So, listen, a lot's been going on and a lot's been happening, but I wanted to pop in and talk to you about y'all. Remember what happened last night at the Real Housewives of Potomac? If you have not watched our live chat, go ahead and watch it. Everybody was in their feelings about the Candiace versus Mia thing, right? Let me say hi to everybody. But then I watched the after show. And hey, what's up, Bia? Yo, shout out to the best modder in the world, B, right? And I have to ask myself, right? Um, was Candiace wrong? I really wanted to take a thing because this seems like this has split so many. Hey, Dr. Payne has split so many people. Hey, Kenny. Hey, Moni Loves. Hey, NY1206. It has split so many. Hey, Benicia. It has split so many people about what whether Candiace was wrong. And I also wanted to start reviewing the Real Housewives of Potomac after show because they give a little insight. Now I'm not going to lie to you, this one was a little dry, but it wasn't. Do you know what I'm saying, right? Q Casey, you're still recovering from last night. We have about 54 people in the live. I'll drop the link to call in when we reach 150 people in the live, right? Hey, Kimberly. Hey, everybody. Hey, Amika, what's going on? Hey, one tall girl. Hey, Gaia. Hey. So listen, let's get into this because this was actually really it was an interesting after show. All right. So if you guys haven't seen the Real Housewives of Potomac after show, it comes on the Bravo app. I don't know if you guys get it overseas. Let me tell you what happened, and then I'm gonna jump into, and I'm gonna drop the link so y'all can call in and share what you want. Right now. It started off by talking about the candles. They're making jokes about, at this point, there's 3 candles on Real Housewives of Potomac. There's Wendy's that we know about. There's LaDom, because you know Karen Huger's not leaving any money on the table. And then there's Mia's candle. And everybody goes on for 10 minutes, patting Mia on the back about her business acumen, the way that, Karen was like, I'm grand dame, and we talking about e-commerce, but you got this up in what, 48 hours? That's e-commerce that I can believe in. Then she's just like, and then Giselle, I can't wait to get one of Mia's candles. And then Robin was like, I mean, Mia has a candle and Wendy has none. So I guess I guess Wendy's just bad at business. And everybody's taking their little digs at Wendy or, or Mia, whoever that they like. The thing that I saw interesting, because I was watching this and I was like, listen, regardless if you think Candiace is wrong or right, can we just agree that Mia is a liar? And it's a little bit scary at this point. And by scary, I mean annoying. I don't mean it implies Mia has like a mental illness, because I wonder, and again, I would like to have Mia on my show to interview her from a fair standpoint, but Mia and the candles, y'all know that those aren't Mia's candles, right? Y'all know that the whole thing was Mia tried to own Candiace by that whole F you and stay the F away from me candles and saying her message. They were actually a candle that was invented by a very well-to-do French man who also has businesses. But he decided to start a charity for women who were victims of domestic abuse, victims of substance abuse, and were marginalized in any way. And he created that candle for these survivors to help them heal, but also all the proceeds from the candles goes into the shelters, goes into helping them get jobs, goes into the reinvesting, goes into them finding ways to move past the divorce. It goes into mental health. It goes into everything. All the proceeds from those candles. They're actually super, super big in France because it's part of the French Me Too movement. But the Me Too talking about domestic violence, rape, like all this stuff, right? This is what this money from the candles is supposed to go to. This is what the candles were invented. They have a very special message. We don't live in France, but that's what the candles are for. Mia co-opted that message, took it over, repackaged it, and tried to act like these were her candles that she made at 48 hours to own Wendy and to own Candiace. And the thing is, on Twitter, right, me and a few people called her out. And she backed it up and said, "Oh, no, 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 no. I never tried to act like those were my candles." But you see the Real Housewives of Potomac after show. She's on there and she's letting everybody think those are her candles that she invented. She's not telling anyone, because what happened is that candle company sent her a cease and desist order saying you cannot claim intellectual property for these candles. These are for a cause. These are not yours. You did not. They literally pulled intellectual property right. Well, actually, not even that. Copyright right and patent right, because they're not even intellectual, it's a tangible. That's when Mia went back onto her page and said, oh, no, 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 no. I just want to say that these candles are for victims of violence and it was created by this person for this purpose. And I stand by survivors. And I remember telling y'all, yo, Mia just cleaned that shit up. Mia just cleaned that shit up. She lied. She tried to make it in a fantasy life, and she just cleaned that shit up. And y'all said, no, 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 no. You're being too cynical. No, you're wrong. Mia did not try to take ownership of those candles. She did not try to make it seem like they were hers. But now we have the Real Housewives of Potomac after show, which was filmed months before the seasons ended, right? Months before the season ended. And we have Mia sitting there laughing, being like, I mean, I know how to create candles. I mean, I had a message to get out. And that's why, I mean, yeah, it was 48 hours to get those candles up. You know why they were 48 hours to get those candles up? Because it's like me telling you that I have a message and I'm literally going to CVS and getting Glade fresh linen candles, my favorite, getting Glade fresh linen panels, literally putting a TisaTellss sign on them, not even putting a TisaTellss sign, getting Glade fresh linen candles and shipping it to y'all, talking about these are the candles I made to own all my haters. Pow, 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 pow. I didn't want to let that pass. And it just really pissed me off that Mia even did that. And I was just like, I don't understand. And listen, this is separate from what Candiace did. But listen, if someone's going to be a liar, can we at least have permission to hold them? All things can be true. Candiace, and we're going to talk about it, could have been being really cruel to Mia. But Mia is also cruel in her actions and what she does too. It doesn't make right, but I want to talk about everything that pissed me off, not just what the Candiace things, right? You know? Yeah, it's the way, listen, Karen is fake as hell too. She's praising Mia for starting her business in 48 hours and saying Wendy should take notes, but isn't Wendy supposed to be her bestie these days? True. But the fact that Mia didn't start a candle business in 48 hours, Mia is nothing but an online distributor for the real person that made the candles. So she found these candles that had the message she wanted, forgot to tell them that they were for victims of sexual assault and sexual violence and all these things, women in shelters. It wasn't just somebody just made them like hunky-dory. It's like, it's a real message. But anyway, I digress, right? Shout out to Brooke Ashley. I digress. That just really pissed me off. And I really just had to come on here and talk about that. We're not done talking, but I just had to say my thing, right? So, listen, let's see. You guys, also, let's keep this chat respectful. We have our favorites. We agree or disagree. If anybody talks about anybody getting violence or threatens violence, I will have to kick you out this chat because I don't want that toxic energy around me. No one is getting anything. We are all adults. We use our words, not our hands. If you can't use your words, walk away. But for all these people that are popping off, it's just like, I don't know, y'all. It's not to the fact of anybody, because at this point, nobody has to be worried about physical violence. It's really because, honestly, if you put your hands on me and I don't win, and don't let the Sunny's disposition fool you. There's a chance I might win. But if I don't win, please believe the police are going to be knocking at your door. Oh, I'm not afraid to snitch. I'm not afraid to go to the cops. I don't believe in that, oh, what happens in the street stays in the street, because I'm not from the streets. And yes, you will be spending the night you will be singing Locked Up by Akon. So I don't want to promote people to engage in behavior that will either result in them actually getting physically harmed or getting into the legal system. I mean, I know it's reality TV, but I don't live in fantasy land. If you hurt someone and you are not of stature or of importance, you will have to answer for it. And I would just hope that everybody has enough sense to keep themselves safe and focus on their money and stealing other people's candles, ideas, and passing them off at your own. That is my hope for all of you, respectfully. Okay? That is my hope, right? Yes, okay? Exactly. Tyrone, if I don't win, if I win, then fine, we can leave it at that. But if I don't win, please believe I'm going to be like, yes, Officer Sal. Hello, Detective Bob. Yes. I don't know what happened. I said, hold on. I said, your mama's low budget. And then I don't know what happened. Her mama is low budget. Yes, I want to press charges. Yes, all of them. That would be me, right? Will be. Exactly. Listen, I know everybody's frustrated in their lives, I might fantasize about giving somebody a, but actually, no, I've gotten to the point in my life when somebody really irks me, it is prosperity to be able to put somebody out your mind. Fantasizing about physically hurting them, fantasizing about physically humiliating them. Listen, I'm not judging anyone. We've all, when we were younger, had those thoughts. But once you get older, you realize that putting somebody out of your mind is the biggest flex there is. It truly, truly is. It's the biggest flex there is. So I'm at the point where I put people out of my mind that don't bother me. But that said, I don't like to read things about violence. I don't condone that. So anybody in the chat talking about that, it's not welcome here, and you will be blocked as soon as I am made aware. Or if not, B, you got that trigger. B said, let me let this chopper sing. B, keep that trigger in your hand and let off as thing. Permission to unload. Do what you do, B. I trust you with my eyes closed, okay? So there we go, right? Listen, no one is defending the indefensible. Listen, y'all, if you can't have a conversation and play the pros and cons, I understand that. But right now, we're about to get into it and really play the pros and cons, honestly, because I believe in life, no one is ever truly the villain. I mean, okay, some people are 100% villain, but in life, especially when it's emotions and triggers, all things can be true. One person can both be a victim and a villain. The villain can be a victim. All things can be true. I'm here because everything on the internet is down. I enjoy kicking it with y'all. And we're going to talk about this the same way we talk about Monday Night Football. Is it Monday Night Football? I don't like sports. But the same way I see people talking about Monday Night Football, soccer, football, lacrosse, whatever other sports that y'all talk about. That's what we are here for. Let me drop this call-in link. I see it. Well, hold on. Let me check and see how many likes I have. Because y'all be playing y'all be trying to Simon Gabaudy at me. Y'all be playing the dog mess out of me. Talking about there's 500 people in the chat and I got 15 likes. Let me actually see how many likes I have to see if I could drop the call link. Because I actually want you guys to come on and talk about this too, right? I actually want y'all to talk about this too. Now, yeah, and I knew it. You guys, there's only 46 likes. When we get to Let's see. When we get to 130 likes, I'll drop the call-in link, okay? I knew it because y'all be playing the dog mess out of me. There's 162 people. You guys, hit the like button so we can get some callers and you can go. Now, listen. So that's what happened first in the thing. Mia lied about those candles being hers. Again, it just annoyed me because it's like, you ain't got to lie to kick it. It still would have been funny and shade, and even more shade that you're helping somebody else's business. That's a boss move. And saying this candle was because this and that, but it's still a statement, I feel. But again, I feel like Mia and Karen kind of have that same thing. Like they can't let anybody else have credit. They're fine as long as they're the biggest, baddest thing in the room. And everybody else, if they bow down to them, they're cool. But if they don't bow down, it is a problem. Now, also, I do want to say that Karen, when Karen was like, I tried to tell Candiace about Mia's mom and she said, I don't care. Let me tell you something. It's all different things. I know myself when I'm in the middle of arguing with someone, if you jump in and you're like, quiet, 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 I literally lash out at you too because I have something to say. Don't say shit to me and let me finish my point. It's almost like, remember when you guys were in school and sometimes the person that jumped in to break up the fight would get swung on by both people because emotions are running high and this isn't the way. Also, the way Karen went in, Karen, here's the thing. I like Karen, but I do feel like, one, she doesn't respect Candiace. And two, thank you, Tyrone. I feel like, one, she doesn't respect Candiace, but also I feel like Karen, because she sided with Monique last year, and just follow me on this. I could be wrong. I want to know you guys' you guys' opinion. But I feel like because she sided with Monique last year, Karen likes to be right. And I feel like she's waiting for Candiace to mess up so she can be vindicated, so she can say that she was right for the way she treated Candiace last season. Because Karen doesn't like to be wrong. Now, I could be wrong. I'd love to have Karen on to actually talk to her about this. I'd love to have all of them on, even Mia. Like, Mia, let's go. Because Mia would be a fun interview. But I do feel like Karen needs Candiace to be the person that her and Monique said she was last season, because Karen got dragged and got a lot of flack for the way she tried to get Candiace fired. Remember when she emailed Candiace bosses and said Candiace was mentally unwell, she wasn't fit to be on the thing, and she doesn't think she should work there anymore? Remember when she did that? Yeah, Candiace. So Karen got flack for that, and Karen doesn't like to lose, and she doesn't want to be wrong. That's what's going on there, right? That's what's going on. So there was, what else was discussed before we get to the meat of the after show, right? Before we get to the meat of the after show, let's also talk about what else happened. Robin and Giselle and their thing on Wendy, it's really weird to me because I like. Here's the thing: Real Housewives of Potomac, Mel NYC. If you guys didn't watch our recap, me and Mel are doing a recap for Salt Lake City. He's Mel NYC reviews. He's on Instagram and whatever. And also he's starting his YouTube channel. Go on and give him a follow. We're actually doing a recap for Salt Lake City at 8:30 because Salt Lake City was kind of good. But we did a Potomac one. It's up. You guys should go check it out. Marin was on there too. QK, a bunch of other people were there. Judgy Justice, Kaya was there, and ACEE. All great people weighing in. And Mel had a few good comments, which I definitely took to heart. But my point of the matter is with Karen, with Robin and Giselle. I like, and to what Mel said, he likes Robin and Giselle. I like everybody on Real Housewives and Potomac's cast. I really do. Even though I talk trash about them, I like all of them, right? Robin and Giselle are weird in the way that they tried to make Wendy's pain the storyline of the season, so the producers stayed away from is Jamal coming, and also stayed away from Juan. And they literally tried to play Wendy and bully her. In my opinion, there might be stuff I didn't see off thing. And when Wendy lashed out, they got mad that Wendy wouldn't be the butt of the joke. It literally kind of did remind me when someone's making you the butt of the joke and you lash out and they're just like, what's wrong? And you're like, how did you think this was going to go? Did you think you were going to bully me? And then, I don't know. I want to hear your thoughts on that. Now, let's see how many people we have. Let's see how many likes we have. 85 likes. We're getting closer. We're almost there for the drop-in. Now let's talk about the main event. Was Candiace wrong? So Candiace was on the after show, and she said the businesses were off limits, and she was unapologetic. She was unapologetic. Now here's the thing, Candiace, it's the Sagittarius energy. I saw when she was like, she kept coming with me. She's been picking with me. And she got what she deserves. I saw her moral compass kind of springing up. But like all Saggies, even when they go crazy, they still will not say sorry because they said what they said. So she's really in her Saggy energy, and she's not apologetic. Mia is like really fine to play the victim because she sees it as a way when she was like, this girl's mouth is da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Here's the thing that annoys me about this. It's not the fact that Mia doesn't have a right to be hurt. Mia does not have a right to be upset. Mia does not have a right to be angry. But by Mia's own mouth, she wasn't that hurt. It rolled off her tongue. So why are we acting like Candiace sent her to the guillotines when Mia said it's not bothering her, right? But also, right? Mia is repeating talking points that she did watching The Real Housewives of Potomac. Mia went into Potomac with a plan, and I think B talked about this last night. Shout out to the best moderator. I think B talked about this last night in the fact that you can be these new reality girls come on and they study season after season after season, which I would do the same thing too. But Mia came in with a clear goal to be the fan favorite. She knew how to get people on her side, and her strategy was, let me go after Candiace. Let me call her little girl. Let me say her mouth. Because she's saying all the fucking talking points that people were dragging her on the internet. And she's saying them too close for them to be off of the top of her head. Right? So we're so concerned with Candiace going after Mia's mom, calling her low budget, which to the end of the day, like whatever, right? That it's like, okay, but does anyone see what Mia's doing too? Which is not to say that Candiace is right or wrong. I'm just saying, can we look at all the facts of what's going on? I know everybody said that Candiace followed after her talking. That's not what happened. I watched it on replay. They got in an argument, right? Candiace did call her, gutter rat. Mia called her a broke ass bitch. Fair is fair. They went downstairs. They disengaged. Mia ran over to Ashley, who is Candiace's sworn enemy, and said, she's so mean. She was saying this. And she did say these bitches, right? While she was talking to Ashley. And that's when she said, I'm right here. If you're going to address me, address me. Again, They were both being antagonistic. They were both hurt, and they both did not want to engage. And I know what people are saying. Candiace was on 10, but Candiace was also super, super upset, right? I'm going to give you guys a chance to call in and let me know what you think. But Candiace was also super, super, super upset at the way Mia brought that energy onto her thing. Now, let me tell you something. Candiace's mom, Candiace loves her mom. I find I don't want to talk about people's moms, right? Hey, thank you, Colinair. Woohoo! What's up, Colinair? Yo, Colinair. Well, you know what? WhatsApp is down, so as soon as I can, we're going. Colinair, we've been talking off key about something. WhatsApp is down, but as soon as it comes back on, I think I have an answer for you. Okay? WhatsApp is down, everybody. That's how I talk to everybody, right? Listen, it's not about being right or wrong. Before we talk about, listen, I'm a very emotional people. Y'all are emotional people. But how about this? How about we bring all the facts to the jury? And then some people can play defense, some people can play prosecution. And once we have that all down, right? Once we have it all down, then why don't we actually then take it to the jury? But I'm not going to take anything to the jury until we have all the facts in front of us. That's it. Listen, the fact that it is a sun in the sky does not mean that I am more or less right. It just means that can we acknowledge that there's a sun in the sky? The fact that Instagram is down does not make me any more or less right. It just means Instagram's wrong. What is wrong with acknowledging things that actually happened? And then we can still say what your conclusion is, but let's all agree about the facts. And then we can go in on who we think is right and who we think is wrong. What's up, Lily? What is up? Can we agree on that? Can we agree on that? I think, and you guys, we're waiting for likes to get to 130. As soon as I have 130 likes in this, I will drop the dial-in and y'all can come in. And if you think I'm right, I'm right. If you think I'm wrong, then if you think I'm right, rep your set. Gang, 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 gang. And if you think I'm wrong, then I'll sit there and be like, I'll sit there and listen just like this. Right? but and usually I have guest panels. It's the first time you guys have me all to yourselves again. So this is the perfect time that you can get your point across. But let's look at the facts, right? They were both being antagonistic. I know what everybody says about me as mom, and yes, that is off limits, especially when your parent is dealing with addiction issues. But when you have a parent such as Dorothy, and I'm not saying anything about Dorothy because I don't live with her. Candiace loves her a lot, but what do you do to a parent that helps others humiliate you? And the reason she helped others humiliate you is because she's hoping that peer pressure will get you to do what she wants, which is to leave Chris. I believe, which is to leave Chris, or let her take control of your life. What do you do about that? You're not going to curse your mama out. You're not going to cut her off. And people are saying that Candiace needs to hold Miss Dorothy responsible and bring her to task and curse her out. Well, then, are y'all saying the same thing to Mia's mom? Because Mia's mom did 80 times worse to her. Again, I'm not bringing Mia's mom into it. I'm just saying we all have complicated relationships with our parents. Candiace is never going to go against her mom. She's not going to worry. Just like Mia, no matter what her mom did to her, it's always going to have love for her. However, if somebody's mom is letting people humiliate or being mean, do you know what a way to get all the smoke is? Going up to the mom and asking questions you know the answer to. If you forget, 2 episodes ago, like Kaya actually pointed out, she was one of my callers from the recap. Go watch the recap. It was really good. We had a really good spirited panel, right? But like Kaya actually said, 2 episodes ago, they asked, was Chris being paid? And Candiace said no. So Mia saw her opportunity. She saw Miss Dorothy, or Dot, but she saw Candiace's mama, went up to her and said, oh, you look so pretty. I like you. Ooh, we need to hang out. You know, doing her like, right? And then she said, so, who's in charge? And she said, Chris. Is Chris getting paid? You knew the answer to that. You were only asking to be messy. And let's stop acting like it's not a TV show. She was asking to be messy because she was going to use that as ammunition to humiliate and degrade Candiace and have a moment. That's what was the point of her asking, right? This is a real, that's what she was asking for. She knew that. Candiace knew that. Candiace's mom knew that. Candiace's mom was dead wrong for what she did. But if my mom is dead wrong and you come and sit there. Okay, my mom would never do that. But if she was dead wrong and you come and sit there and clap hands and try to get information to hurt me, this is why they tell you don't get in people's families' arguments. Who do you think I'm coming after? Who do you think I'm dragging? You think I'm dragging my mama, or you think I'm dragging your dumb ass? Because guess what? I don't even like you. Let's be real, you guys. I'm sick of you guys. If you guys could sit there and be like, yes, I'm on some Debo Friday, ooh, on some Debo stuff, let's be real. This is why you don't get into arguments between siblings, between nieces, but that's why they say stay out of family arguments. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be the one to get the smoke, not the family. There's not really that much they can do with the family. They got to find a way to work past them, cut them off, or love them. But who's going to get the smoke? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. And also, last thing, Candiace didn't go chasing Mia around that house. Mia engaged with Candiace again. I don't know what it is. And here's the thing. I know why Mia did it. Mia's feelings were hurt, and that's fine. But it's like me, my feelings being hurt. That's like me going after someone because my feelings are hurt and I feel like you disrespected me. I can't keep getting mad where every single time you best me over and over. I came for your neck and you ended up cutting me down. And I keep coming again and again and again. But in what world can you play the victim because you tried to engage with somebody in Mortal Kombat and they laid your ass out? I'm not talking about physical. Again, Candiace was dead wrong for picking up that lettuce leaf and throwing it at Mia. She was dead wrong for that. If I seen that lettuce leaf come for me, that would have triggered me. She was dead wrong for doing that. Dead wrong. Mia threw lettuce back at her. Candiace picked up some more lettuce. I get it. But I just don't understand this thing is when you engage with people, like, where are the limits? Where are the limits? What's left on it? And I am typically, it's like, listen, my work's important to me. My learning's important to me. Certain things that I have built in my life, I'm not going to tell y'all because y'all not doxing me, but certain things that I built in my life are very, very important to me. I put my heart, I put my blood, I put my sweat into it. It's everything to me. So me talking about your mom might be your trigger, but you talking about something that I put all my self-esteem in, something I put my self-worth in, is just as hurtful. So we need to talk about people's boundaries. Again, when somebody tells you, it's like saying, you don't ever talk about someone's child. All right, this is true. But if I tell you that this is like my child, and the same thing and blah, 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 and this is an extension of me, of course, it's not the same as a living, breathing child, but where do the boundaries lie? Where do the boundaries lie? Let's see how many likes we have. Oh, there we go. You guys, we need one more like, and then I'm dropping a link. I don't know why I'm using my Funky Geneva voice. Remember Funky Geneva and he was like, that's a girl. I used to love Funky. I still do, but I remember when he was like raw, uncut, not Fox Soul Funky Geneva, but raw, uncut Funky Geneva. He was so funny. And him and Alexander Rogers, woo! Hey, Miora Candle, thank you so much for this. Who else gave? Oh, Colinaire, I'm always on. Miora Candle, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. And Colinaire also. As soon as WhatsApp is buds up, I can get back to actually talking shit. Okay, so you guys, we're about to drop the link. And I want y'all to come up here and listen. Let me know what your things are. Because Candiace was unapologetic. Mia was holding her stuff. Everybody was picking sides. I didn't like the way Giselle last night on the thing was saying, Candiace's mouth is trash. I don't like the way everybody's so dismissive because at the end of the day, Giselle, so's yours, and so is Robin's, and so is Karen's, and so is Ashley's, and so is Wendy's, and so is Mia's. Everybody's mouth on that show is trash, and that's what I pay to see them for, right? Listen, now, Shawnice, I agree with you. Hey, Stacy, Shawnice, I agree with you. You guys, I just dropped the call-in link. Here's the call-in link for you guys to dial in and let me know what you think. If not, I'll just keep running my mouth. So let's go into this, right? Who said Candiace can't allow? Now, listen, I agree. Shawnice, Candiace can't allow herself to be triggered like that. But you know what's another thing also? Candiace is what? The youngest person there. And she's not a little girl, but she's the youngest person there. It really is weird to me the way nobody ever wants to give Candiace the opportunity to be human. We get triggered, we get mad, sometimes we go a little bit too far, but with Candiace is always like, oh, how dare you? And I agree with you, Candiace can't allow herself to be triggered like that. But again, there is something about when you're always the bad guy. Sorry, guys. When you're always the bad guy in the group, after a while, you're like, if I'm the bad guy, I might as well be the bad guy all day, all night, right? Now, Fox Cat. Oh, wait, hold on. We have a few people. We have Judgy Justice, and we have
Hey,
Judgy Justice and Pete Brown. How are you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing great.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I
I
can't hear
think we
them.
were
I can't
talking at
hear
the
them.
same time.
Okay, I see you. Okay. Hey guys, hey P Brown, hey Judgy Justice. Okay, let's start with Judgy Justice, and then we'll go to P Brown, and we're also welcome Kimmy. We're also going to go to Kimmy. So Judgy Justice, you take it first, then we'll go to P Brown, then Kimmy. Okay.
Okay, so I think Candiace is getting like this. I don't know what it's called exactly, the term. But basically, like how like black girls always get told like to act older and then no, but then act your age and then you should be a child and then all this other stuff. I think that's kind of the what she's stuck in because she gets because
Sorry,
she gets
Tammy was like, "Put it on and make it money, me."
I love that dance. Oh my
Sorry,
god.
guys. I'm sorry, Judgy. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay.
I think that's what happens because they keep trying to push her like she's like in her 40s and 50s and been married and have kids when she's really just starting to settle down. We just saw her get married like 2 seasons ago. She's just starting to she just bought our family house, everything like that. You got to give her a chance to like
Mhm.
settle in a little bit, I feel. You keep trying to push her to be this adult that you want her to be. But then not everybody else is the same adult either.
Now
Like
that's an interesting
parents are
topic. That's an interesting thing that you bring up, Judge Jesus. So I'm starting with Judgy, then we're going to P Brown, Kimmy, and Ann. And welcome to the chat. But here's the thing, and I know Candiace is not a child. Somebody said that she's 35 years old in the chat. I get that, but I don't know how to describe it. Candiace is not always right. I don't always, because I'm going to look at Candiace and be like, girl, you're dead wrong, right? But I do think it's odd that Candiace is held to a different standard than anybody else, right? That Candiace is held to a different standard than everybody else. I do think that there is something a bit off with that. Miriam, welcome to the chat. Welcome, welcome.
Hi
But I do
guys.
think that there is. Hey, so we're going Judgy Justice, then P Brown, then Kimmy, Ann, and then you, Miriam. But I do think that there is some. Oh, Miriam, are you at the airport?
Yeah, can I go first so that I just listen after? Because I
Okay,
have to
okay. But
boarding
we'll let
soon.
Miriam go first, and then we'll go back to Judgy Justice, P Brown, Kimmy, and Ann. All right, Miriam, hit us with what you got.
I just think she needs to stop blaming others. When Mia said those you broken bitches, she didn't call only Candice. She called Askala and Wendy, and they didn't react like Candice. So, I feel like she needs to stop saying, but she did that. How about you just like be responsible for your own actions? And it's not holding her to a different standard. She needs to control herself because at the end, if she controlled herself and she didn't go that deep into Mia, everybody would have been on her side, including me. And that's big because I don't like her. But
I
but
actually
but in
disagree with
this
you, Miriam.
instance, I feel like Mia did wrong. But what Mia did, she was being messy. She wasn't being nasty, and Candice, she should have just distributed her wrath equally amongst all of them who were messy as well. That's all I have to say, guys. I'm gonna listen to you all, but like, wish me safe travels. I need to go
Okay.
boarding.
Oh, we're gonna miss
Bye.
you too, Miriam. Safe
Oh
travels,
gosh.
safe travels. Okay, have fun.
Okay.
Post some pictures on Instagram when it comes
I
up. And
will.
thanks for calling in, Miriam. Listen, it's interesting you said that if Candace had just held back a little bit more, she even would have had you on her side. I mean,
And
that's
that's
something
big.
interesting to
And
consider.
that's big.
It is big. It is big. All right, Miriam. Safe travels. Okay.
Bye, guys.
Okay. Bye bye. Okay. So, Judgy, back to you. So, what were you saying?
So I actually disagree with Miriam a bit. I love her, but this one, I think that we can't keep trying because everybody else gets to say terrible things.
Mm,
We got people saying that Giselle wasn't, I'm just gonna say different people's comments and not the actual person, but just for
mm,
different castmates.
okay.
saying that somebody's been in Sing Sing, saying that they're burning, saying that that blogs say that they have STDs, saying that their husband has other children outside their relationships, saying just terrible things that you wouldn't, that if we're saying that other things are off table, but why is it okay for you to talk about her sexual parts, even though I know that you've probably never swam in that lake before? It's just not fair. And then it's not fair that she gets held to this standard. Like, she has to watch what she has to say, and these other people can dig at her and know when to dig at her and jab at her. And like the same thing with the whole Ashley incident. People just saying like, oh well, when Ashley was at her house, she threw that knife down, and that was not okay, and all this other stuff. But again, Ashley saw her.
Sorry to interrupt you, Judge Justice, but just to roll it back, and then we're going to go to Pete Brown. We'll come back to you, Judgy, but Kimmy and then Taylor's coming in. But this is a good point people brought up. Now moms are off limits, but didn't Ashley drag Candiace's and her mom in her house? And everybody was like, "Oh well, Candiace, you should have just taken it." To Candiace's point, I think it's odd that someone is being told to always turn the other cheek. And then the minute they erupt, because this is what reality TV is. They put people in incubators to erupt. When they erupt, everyone's like, see, I knew it. You're spoiled. You're this, you're that. Oh, you ain't shit. You need to learn to regulate your emotions. And it's just like, are you serious? Again, it seems like a lot of gaslighting that people do to women, that people do to minorities. I don't know. There's something about it where I'm like, so basically Candiace is never allowed to lash out. She's never allowed to have a bad day. For Karen to be jumping into the situation, no, Candiace, because you need to do this and that. When you sat across from Giselle and dragged her in public about having a fucking nervous breakdown and having to be committed, and last night, my BFF was like, that was the cruelest thing I've ever seen on reality TV. The cruelest thing I ever saw was when Karen literally said, you're just an old broken down whore from Hampton, you and everybody knows. And that's why you had to go to Sing Sing because Jamal put your ass in a crazy house. That was the cruelest thing I ever heard. You know why? Because it was true. It was true, and it was mean, and it was so evil. But now we're looking at Candiace as that's the evilest thing you've ever seen happen on reality TV. I guess. But we're going to come back to you, Judge Justice. Hold on. Pete Brown, why don't you weigh in on this? And then we'll go to Kimmy, then we'll go to Ann, and then we will go to Taylor. Ann, welcome to the chat, Taylor Ann. I guess. So Taylor Ann, you might want to mute your volume until it's your turn to talk. Taylor Ann, welcome to the chat, Taylor Ann. Taylor, you want to mute that? Okay, thanks, Taylor. Okay, so let's do you, P. Brown, then Kimmy, and Taylor Ann, and then we'll come back to Judgy Justice. Go.
Hi, Tisa, and hi, everyone. How are you? Yes, so for me, it was just the hypocrisy for me with this whole episode and some of the fans and some of the other YouTubers because, yes, Candiace was wrong. Like, I feel personally, yes, Mia deserved it, but I personally would have pulled back a little bit with the mom comments. Like, I was fine with what you said about Mia, but it's like, I would have, me personally, because of my situation with my mom or whatever, I would at least pull back a little bit with the, with the mom comments and, and to some people's point, didn't know Mia's mom's history. Mm-hmm. But it's like, you guys just touch on it, like, not saying Candiace is not wrong, but they all have been wrong in one way or another, even in other franchises. Like, not to go back to Real Housewives for Atlanta, but I wanted to make a point because Andy got on Candiace last week about body shaming, right? I don't know if you guys watched the reunion. I think it was Real Housewives reunion. I think it was 12 when Portia said Eva's breast was social distancing, and Andy laughed, right?
So, hold on. TisaTellss, 1 second. TisaTellss, welcome to the chat. Just everybody on the chat, make sure you mute it until it's your turn to talk. So go on, P. Brown. What were you saying, babe?
Yeah, so that reunion. So I'm like, okay, it was funny when your favorite housewife, Portia, said something about body shaming someone, but when there's another housewife you don't like Kenya or Candiace, or I don't know, that's the only two I really watch, say something disparaging, you want to hold their feet to the fire. So I really feel like the biases, I don't know if it's colorism or whatever, come from the source, which is Bravo, because I think they pick and choose who they want to go hard on.
I
And
agree.
then, yeah, some of the cast members too follow suit, and then the fans, and then whoever else. So I really think they're the source of the biases, especially with Andy, because I noticed that certain housewives are held to the fire and certain ones are not.
You know what? I completely agree with you, P. Brown. Let's go to Kimmy. And then when we go through everybody's statement, we can like hash it out and have more of a conversation. But Kimmy, welcome, Mama. Welcome. You finally made it live. What do you got to say, Kimmy?
Hey, so basically I agree with everything you guys said. My main problem is like I don't understand how people forget that like Candiace kind of changed. Like when the show first started, she definitely was like way more like I don't know, I feel like she was just a different person back then. And now I could see why people like didn't like her before, but now it's like she kind of doesn't do anything unless somebody attacks her first. So for people to be so upset with her every time she responds, it doesn't make sense for me because although she might take things far, she would have never had to take it there in the first place had someone not attacked her or came at her sideways for no reason at all. Like, I guess I get like she shouldn't be talking about her mom, but she shouldn't be talking about her husband. Like Mia talked so much shit about Chris or said, and then she said whatever she said on Twitter about having sex with Chris or he wanted
Tossing
to
her
like,
salad.
you're being disrespectful. And
So
like you want other people to
disrespectful.
respect you, but how? Like why would I do that when you've been nothing but disrespectful to me for no reason? And also last point, I think Mia's main problem right now is that she seems like I don't know if anybody remembers, but is she not like conspiring with Monique? Like has she not been
She
talking to Monique?
is.
Like I'm like clearly she's doing this because she wants to stay on Monique's side and like do whatever she wants her to do to get back at Candiace. And it's like, why do people not see that part?
Why do people not see it? Now, this is an interesting comment. Demeaning Spectacular said, if someone talked about your mother, you're going to react. Stop making excuses. Okay, Demani, I will take that, but I will raise you. If somebody talked shit, if somebody talked to my mother, you're going to react to. If somebody that you can't stand was talking to your mother, whether your mom was being messy or not, she's talking and you're there. So is Tisa this? Is Tisa that? Blah, 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 blah. All this stuff. She was at, and it wasn't just that one question. Candiace said after, that's that one question they showed, but she was giving her and Dorothy was giving information. You're not going to react to somebody's going to your mom for dirt. And I get you should be mad at your mom, but can we be real? Who's gonna disown their mom for that? How much moms have this thing where they can do whatever the hell they want. All you can do is either cut them off or accept it. That's it. That's it. You can't curse them out because then you end up feeling guilty. You can't make them go apologize because moms are stubborn and they're gonna do what the hell they want. You know, that's what it is. Now, also before we move on to the next caller, who is Ann, I just want you guys to know that first let's welcome Rachel Ade. We'll put you right after little Tisa Teller. But also I want you to guys know that I have my first my first bi-monthly members live. It was last Friday. We got into some gritty one wick. We did not more candle company 4-wick. We got into some 1-wick candle. We got into the juicier gossip that I can't really give on YouTube, but it was so fun. It was a nice intimate group. My memberships are only $4.99 a month. I had the playback up for members. It was a good 2-hour live. So if you are into gossip, we talked about Portia. We talked about Real Housewives of Atlanta. We talked about Beverly Hills. We talked about Real Housewives of OC. Next week, we're talking about even more people. It was such a good time. If you guys are interested in joining, you can sign up for my memberships. The link is in the description box. Sign up to join this channel. It's $4.99 a month, and we do twice monthly members lives. You guys can call up. You guys can talk. You guys can even message me like, yo, can you find out dirt about this person? I want to know what's going on with that. And it's just really the only thing in the members live it is whatever we talk about in the members live is confidential, right? So whatever happens in the circle stays in the circle, but it's $4.99 a month. The first video is up. The second one is happening not this Friday, but next Friday. So go on and join. It's going to be good. Okay, that said, Anne, take it away. What's your comments on this?
Okay, so I don't get this double standard with Candiace, because I'm watching the show, right? And they're saying, oh, they're trying to trigger. We're talking about Mia's mom drug problem. Candiace doesn't know about Mia's mother. If she did, I think, like, if people really thought Candiace, if Candiace really knew, look at how Candiace mouth, they say Candiace mouth is breathless. Candiace would go way in. She would say, your mom, instead of saying your mom is broke, she would say, your mom is a broke drug whore from blah, 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 because that's Candiace's mouth. And the thing is, Mia started with Candiace first. Candiace was being nice to Mia from the beginning of the season. When Mia was arguing with Giselle, Candiace shut it down. Candiace gave her a room over her friend Wendy. This problem Candiace has with Mia is deeper than just saying it's low budget. I think she took it triggered Candiace. Candiace is also triggered in this moment. And I think people don't discredit Candiace's feelings.
Yes.
Like, they don't think she can be triggered, because when you put your all your soul into something, because this is her passion, her music is her passion, and you invite these people into the world to see what you're about. You want to share this with your friends, and then it was low budget. That triggered her. So, like, I try to invite you into my world. I try to show you, and you're saying it's low budget. You're attacking my craft. She took it to a deeper level. For Candiace, is deeper, and I see that. I don't agree with the mom thing. I was cringing when she was talking about Mia's mom, but I get it. They're both triggered at that moment. They're both in their anger, and they're gonna say whatever. Candiace just has a slicker mouth, and she's really good at cutting you down. And my sister's like Candiace, so I've seen her do it. So when people fight, especially if they fight with their words, they're going to go for the jugular, especially when they're angry. They're not thinking about, oh, this is going to hurt her too bad. I don't like you right now. I'm going to say whatever I need to say to cut you at the throat. And that, when you're in your anger, that's what it is.
I think that's what it is. Just to throw a question at you, you make a good point. If we look at it like this, Candace in the same situation as the only analogy I think that people accept. She has something to prove with each music video. It's her first time being financially independent from her mom. She had the whole world calling her a spoiled brat who still lives off her mom. It's much like maybe a woman that leaves a divorce that has to prove to her rich husband and all his friends that she is somebody outside of the person. So in that case, I can see how Candace's emotions are, because this is show and prove time. Candace is trying to prove to herself, her mom, and everybody else that she is more than the financial support she received, and that she can grow outside of her mom, which is what everybody's been clowning her for the last 4 years. So I can see, you're right, how she's so wrapped up in that. What do you think Candace should have done differently? Because I'm like that too. When I'm arguing with someone, if someone tries to calm the situation down, I'll lash out at them too. Like, shut up. I'm making my point, right? Because you're so angry. Go on. I'm sorry.
I don't see where she could have, like, the thing is, though, because I've been in arguments with people, and then I step back and I sit down, and this is where I also think everybody needs therapy on this show. Mia needs to go to therapy. I think Candiace has issues she needs to deal with as well. And because you don't have the tools to how to have confrontation with each other, the only thing is, at that moment, you're in heat. You're going to say whatever, you're going to do whatever, and you're going to be just angry at each other, because this is all coming from anger. And what I think, the only thing I can see Candiace doing is, like, if she sits down and reflects on it and say, maybe I went too far this time when I talked about your mother, and they have a conversation about it afterwards. Because in that moment, you're going to say whatever to win. You're basically there to win. You're winning the argument. So you're going to say whatever to cut their throat off. And especially, I think they're both triggered. Like I said before, they're both triggered. So when you're in that moment of you're triggered, you're angry, you're not seeing that person as a person. You're seeing them as the enemy. It's like you're in a battlefield. They're the enemy, and I need to just destroy you. You're my enemy at the moment.
Are you a water sign?
No, I'm a Capricorn. I'm an earth sign. I'm very grounded.
But earth signs have that too. If I'm going to destroy you, I'm going to put you under. I was going to say earth or water, because when y'all go in, it'd be like, I didn't know my mom was on drugs. Is that my real dad? What? I just asked, how come you didn't clean the refrigerator? You'd be like...
Yeah, I get Candiace, though, because you can only take so much, because every time Candiace tries to not engage, she does, like, people always come for her.
Okay, So here's the thing. Speak Sister, thank you for the super chat, Speak Sister. She makes a good point. She says, I wish Candiace had handled this differently, but Mia drew first blood metaphorically. The rules should be the same for all. Mia has to accept her verbal ass whooping. Right? Right? And she got one. She got one. What do you think about that? Oh, well, Anne muted. So let's.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Sorry about
I'm just
that.
asking before you go. We're going to move to Taylor, Anne, but I just want to. What do you think about this? What do you think about the fact that Mia? Do you believe that Mia is the one that drew first blood?
Yes, because even in the bedroom, when they're talking about, before when Candiace cut Mia off, when Wendy cut, hold on. When Candiace cut Wendy off from telling her about her mom, she was like, I only said this about your mom because you said my video was low budget, and Mia doubles down. That just triggered right back into there. So she already had drew first blood by talking to my mom. Like we already had talked about this at the Williamsburg when we're at the table and Giselle asked, "Are you paying Chris?" And she said, "I pay him in, sex." So favor. So we already knew. So why are you going to my mother if you already know this, only to be messy?
All right. Now I agree with you. So let's go into Taylor and 1112. Thank you so much, Anne. Hang around. We're going to have like a group discussion before we all leave. But I just want everybody to get their point across. Thank you so much. Taylor and 112. What about you, Mama? How are you feeling? Do you think Candiace was wrong? And if so, why?
Hi. This is my first time ever calling in.
Oh, welcome.
So here's the thing. I think Candiace was wrong, definitely, but I'm not going to act like Mia didn't start the whole issue with Candiace. And I'm not going to act like, even though I think Candiace is wrong, I'm not going to say I feel bad for Mia because I don't. Oh, hold on. Does someone get skipped?
No. It's Rachel. But Rachel, you're going, so it's Taylor, little TisaTellss, then Rachel. But right now, Taylor Ann's talking first, and we're going to little TisaTellss, then Rachel. Okay? Oh, you chat. So go on, Taylor.
Well, the thing is, like, while Candiace went low last night, but I'm not going to act like Mia didn't start the whole issue between them. And while I do think Candiace was wrong, I'm also not going to say I feel bad for Mia because I don't. Because Mia is literally a hypocrite. Because she says women shouldn't call women other women names, yet she goes to call them broke bitches. She says no, she doesn't want anybody to mention moms in general, yet she goes last Wednesday at 7:00 in the morning. She goes on to mention Ascala's mother to try to shade the hell out of her. I was like, no, okay, so you basically don't practice what you preach. So why should we feel bad for Candiace going in it, even though Candiace was dead ass wrong? Why should we feel bad? You do the same thing. So why? What makes you any different? Basically, Mia is no different from Candiace. Like they're both wrong. Mia. And here's the thing: people say Mia. What Mia did wasn't wrong because Dorothy was when it started. Yeah, was the one that started. Yes, they don't. I don't think people get it. Yes, while Dorothy is the one that started, and Dorothy was being messy as hell, and that's a whole nother conversation. Mia didn't practice common sense and decide to just engage like I don't think engage like you should know, like you really, if I was me, I would like, I don't think you should be either. I would just sit there quietly and listening like okay or I'll walk away like Wendy or Scala, because like this, you should, something, a little voice in Mia's head should have went off in her head, so like I don't think this is okay, because what mother really does this?
You said a little voice in her head. I'm laughing because every time shit goes left in my life, it's that little voice being like, just like you said, I don't think we should do that. And I'm just like,
and then people acting, why isn't Candiace going off on her mom because she's the one that really started? Candiace literally stated that she did not know her mother was being messy like that until she watched the show, meaning that she didn't know that Giselle and Robin and somewhat Karen, but Karen was also trying to get away, was also being messy because she was only told about about Mia. She was too busy focusing on doing that part of her music video to even know that they were doing that. That's why she's not reading the Green Eyed Bands like she did Mia. That's why she's not reading her mother like she did Mia.
But let's be real too. Taylor, are you reading, especially on national TV? Candiace obviously loves and respects her mother. Are you reading your mother?
I'm not trying to die, so no.
Exactly. No, I'm just saying. Sorry, but I'm just saying I would not disrespect my parents on national TV.
It's like I can't cuss my mom out, but I can cuss you out because you were also dead ass wrong.
Exactly. That's exactly how I felt. I can't
curse my mom
out, but I can curse you out. But
it's like no one is saying Dorothy isn't wrong, but like you really expecting Candiace to cuss out her mama. But while there's some people, there are some people that said, I don't care if you are older than me, I can cuss you out too. Candiace was born in the South. The Southern thing is you really in the South, people don't play about their moms in the South, no matter how disrespectful they are being. You cannot like me. I was born in New Orleans. I was raised here in Maryland, but I was born in New Orleans. I wouldn't think of cussing at my mama even if she was wrong because I'm not trying to die.
Me either. Those hands are still swimming. Because they worked in that pocketbook. I was like, I feel that. My mom would.
Because even if I'm a grown ass woman, my mama and my daddy will cuss me out. Because my dad doesn't play by my mom. He's gonna be like, why are you talking to your mom like that?
Exactly. You just got to leave the house mad and frustrated, right? Like y'all both crazy. You got to leave the house. Now, hold on. We're going to come hang around at Taylor and we're going to move to little TisaTellss. And Lonnie says that Candiace is far more likable than Giselle, Ashley, or Robin, but her aggression is street level. Maybe I've grown up with gutter people. I don't see her aggression is street level. Maybe I've been in the gutter too long, but I'm like, something I can handle. Now, here's the thing. Liberia Rose says, Mia wants a problem with Wendy. Why does Mia keep touching Wendy? That really bothers me. It's such a violation. You know, Liberia, here's something funny. I peeped that too. Wendy told her a long time ago, don't touch her. And I remember Mia's face when she said it was like, right? Because Mia likes to get under people's skin. And after that, she's been going out of her way to be touchy-feely with Wendy, and she sees Wendy doesn't like it. Mia's very antagonistic, but Mia, I think, feels some type of way toward Wendy because, and just follow me on this, Wendy's, right now from what I see of Wendy's marriage, I don't know what Wendy's marriage is really like. From what she shows me, I think it's a pretty functional relationship. I think they have a nice life. I think they're both equals. Eddie supports her 100%. She supports her. He is not cheating. He does not have a wandering eye. He protects her against everyone, even his own family. Do they have a perfect relationship? I don't know. But it seems like the closest that I've seen to a functional relationship. And I think that bothers Mia. Not because things are so messed up between her and G, but because Mia seems to have a problem with functional relationships. I don't know how to describe it. Friendships, this and that. I don't know. And when you have functional friendships, you can assert yourself in people's friendships. You can assert yourself. But the one thing you can't assert yourself in and make yourself the center. And I understand, I think Mia does it to keep herself protected. You can't put yourself in the center of a relationship. Do you see what I'm saying? So that bond that her and Eddie has, Mia has no way to make, she can't insert herself because it'll just be weird. And the only way that she can do it is by holding, I think, sexual energy over Eddie, but Eddie's a good man, right? And regardless of how beautiful he thinks Mia is or isn't, I would never know because I don't see him sneaking looks at her and I don't see her giving him googly eyes. So no matter what he thinks of Mia, and don't get me wrong, Mia is beautiful, he's not willing to disrespect his wife for it. And for that, I'm like, Eddie, you're a good man, right? We all think people outside of our relationships are attractive. We all have eyes, but it's the way that you deal with that, you know? It's the way you deal. Now let's go over to little TisaTellss. Little TisaTellss, jump in here. What do you think?
Hello everybody.
Hi.
I haven't actually watched this episode yet because we don't get it until the morning time.
Okay.
But I was
weigh in anyway on what your opinion is. Go on.
Yeah, I wanted to say a lot of people are talking about Candiace's aggression, right? And they're saying they're bringing up the whole knife incident when she threw the butter knife at Ashley. In my eyes, and I don't know what it's like because I'm from the UK, you guys are from the USA, but when somebody's in your house and you ask them to leave and they don't leave, they then become a trespasser. Yes. And you're allowed to use excessive force. So threw the knife. She threw the knife. I don't care.
You know what? I agree with you that. So little Tisa, I like that name. So right. So LTT, right? Buddy, best friend. Listen, I agree with you. So it's common definitely over there in UK and in America. That's why I was looking like, why is everybody acting stupid? You know for a fact that when you ask somebody to leave your room, leave your house, leave your space, if they refuse to, you know that ish is going to hit the wall. So it shocked me that Ashley was asked to leave, was yelled at to leave, stood there and disrespected Candiace's mom in Candiace's mom's house, right? And everybody was like, oh my God, Candiace should have been more mature. Tell me anyone, and I dare any of you guys to say that if I come in your house and I feel like and you feel like I'm being disrespectful and you tell me to leave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm still in your face talking shit, tell me that it wouldn't have escalated. So I completely agree with you. That's the one thing. And this is where people like to start like, oh, Candiace has a problem because somebody finally got under her skin. I think the issue might be that a lot of people don't like Candiace. They don't find her likable. And I think instead of just admitting, I don't find you likable, they're making up all these reasons why they don't like her, but the things don't have any point nexus to reality, because then you're like, but then Karen did that and Karen and Giselle did that, and people are like, I don't care. But at the end of the day, I just think some people just find Candiace and her personality unlikable, which is good because you need that unlikable nexus on a reality TV show. But what do you say to that? Do you think why do you think Candiace gets so much blowback, TisaTellss? Little Tisa?
You know, I think. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Go on.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
I think me personally, I think it's because she's dark skinned. I think it's because she's dark skinned, because Teresa Giudice pushed Andy Cohen's allowed back on the show. When and Giselle rocked up at Ashley's restaurant and basically put it on her, and they were allowed back to the show. Portia slam dunked Kenya into the floor, and she was allowed back on the show. And they even lots of people are even calling for Monique to come back on the show. So it doesn't make sense. You want Candiace off the show because of her mouth, but you want Monique back on the show.
Exactly. No, I completely agree with you with that. It's like make it make sense. A lot of people, and you know, the funny thing is, I don't like saying colorism, which is untrue because I've said it a bunch of times. I really do think that there is, with colorism, I've seen it happen with the people in my family. They're not the colorists. They've been the victim of colorism. It's an unconscious bias that you don't even realize why somebody gets on your last nerves. It's almost like when somebody talks about racism. And listen, we're not going to talk about whether colorism exists because we all know it does. I'm not debating that in my chat, right? And I don't want to pull it this lighthearted chat to pull it into racism, but it's almost like the way racism, and you're up next to talk. It's almost like the way people who are racist, they don't understand why they don't like the person of color or the black person that's in their group or at their job. It's just something about them that just rubs them the wrong way. And when you get down to it, you're like, but they really haven't done anything by your own set of values to deserve this level of.
You can sit and watch the movie.
Wait, who can watch the movie? Somebody needs to mute their thing. Who can watch the movie? So let's see. Whose phone is that? Someone needs to mute their phone because they're telling their kids they can watch the movie.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was me.
Okay. So just mute your phone, babe. No problem. But I will say that, yeah, I do think that there is, because the way a lot of people are saying they don't like Candiace, but when they point to why, and this is a good point, TisaTellss, to the point of why they don't like it, yeah, I think that's definitely what it is, you know? I think it definitely is. So I don't know. It's weird. It's just weird. Now, Anne wants to come in because, Anne, you had a few thoughts on Candiace and playing victim. Why don't you share that, right? And yeah, Kimmy can go after Anne. Then we'll go into Judgy Justice, Taylor, Anne. You know what? So this, as long as we don't talk over each other, we can go freestyle. But we'll start off with Anne, then Kimmy, Judgy Justice, Taylor, and Little Tisa. So go on, Anne.
Oh, hey, sorry. So I don't like when people say Candice plays the victim and like she jabs and then run away. I've been watching. I watch every season. Well, not except for season one. I started season one, didn't like it too much. Came back on season two. I've seen Ashley talk about people's finances when she's confronted about it. Oh my God, I can't believe you're coming after me. How can she come here and put her hands in my face? That's playing victim. She did it to Robin a few times. When her and Wendy was arguing last season, remember Wendy was talking to Karen about the baby, and then all of a sudden, she's like, "Oh, I just assumed, we could bring our baby." Ashley pipes up, "Well, my husband," and then Wendy pipes up back, and then Ashley goes, "Oh my God, you were so aggressive. You were so." So I'm like, I don't get why people keep saying that she pays victims and hide her hands. The only time I've seen Candice really and you can't say Candice cries. Candice cries for everything. I've seen Candice cry when she's happy, when she's mad, when she's a crier. Period.
Like
I
Candy,
think
Candy on Real House of Atlanta, criers. But when I see people crying, I know they're about to start swinging. Like just because
yeah,
you're crying doesn't mean you're. But yeah, she does cry. Okay.
yeah. And then they're trying to say if someone put their hands on me, people get PTSD from a lot of things. Someone could be mugged, like they grab your purse and run away, and someone gets PTSD. You're slamming my head in a table.
True.
That could be traumatic for me. So don't say she's not having PTSD because there's a lot of things that can trigger someone into that. So to discount how she felt about someone putting their hands on them, it's to just I don't like that. And I don't like when people do that.
I
Um, so to say
completely.
she can't have PTSD because Monique slammed her head in a table is incorrect. Because people get PTSD from someone grabbing their purse and running off with it.
Listen, I don't even think it's incorrect. I think it is intellectually dishonest to suggest that if you get beat up on national television and someone's trying to pull your wig off and then is saying all this stuff, for you guys, I don't know where you guys live, but for you guys to say, if Candace's words hurt you, then why are you guys saying, I just don't understand. I think it's intellectually dishonest. There's not a person on this earth that wouldn't have PTSD. And if a close friend did this to you, please, there's not a person on this earth who wouldn't have PTSD. And the only people that wouldn't, if they were just like, oh, please, that should happen to me for breakfast. Okay, well, then you have a very traumatic life. But I just can't see someone trying to pull my wig off on national TV, a friend, and beat me up and do this. Of course, it's going to give you PTSD. Of course. Of
I
course.
I agree. I think the thing is that like again, this is colorism. Sorry, it's just the way it is. It's coming out today. I think that I think it's like with the whole Mia doesn't seem to like Candice because or Wendy because of their brown skin like her mom. And
Or
I
a
think she's
scallop.
intellectual.
She has smoke. Now, here's the thing. I'm not calling Mia a colorist, but she has like contempt and smoke for Escala, Wendy, and Candace. But maybe it's because she's fighting for her place too, and she sees them as the easiest target. She can't go after Karen, and she can't go after Giselle or Robin either. So maybe she sees Candace as an easy target, and Wendy and Escala as like replaceable. You know?
But, so
That
then
didn't really
again,
make sense to me at all.
What do you mean, Kimmy?
like like the fact that she was, first of all, I still don't understand why she ever came from a scholar. Like at first she was like, oh, like what businesses do you have? And it's like, again, who is talking about businesses? But even with the whole colorism thing, like if you watch the after show, Candace herself was saying like there's only one thing that I can think of that would make people act this way towards me, and it's colorism. Like they treat me and people of my color different for some reason. And that does seem to be the issue for me because I really can't come up with any other reason for why people have such an issue with Candace. Every other like cast member has done, if not the same thing, like something worse. So it's like, how can you possibly find such an issue with Candace when every cast member, especially Ashley, like we're not gonna like let Ashley slide. Everybody lets Ashley slide because she's a mom and all that stuff. But it's like you can be a mom and like still be a disrespectful person. You can still be an asshole. Like
Yeah.
Ashley's an asshole. Like she sucks. And I don't see the reason for everybody defending her. I just don't get it.
I don't see the reasons for them defending her either. Ashley has the vilest mouth on there. She does the lowest things. Ashley, I mean, come on. They've all done things. I just understand how they're even talking about Candiace is the most vile. Remember, do y'all remember the way Rob and Giselle and Ashley tortured Karen while both her parents were dying?
Yeah.
Never
Again,
look past that.
yeah, but again, Candiace said that's the lowest thing I've ever seen. No, the lowest thing I saw was when they made jokes about Ray going to jail while they knew both of her parents were dying. You know, it's like, yeah, they've all done things. I say again, when Karen called Giselle a broke down whore from Hampton U, I said, ooh. But then I thought about it and I said, I mean, fair enough. She did torture you while your parents were dying. Both of them, you buried them within 6 months of themselves. And Ray, you guys thought you were going to lose everything because the IRS was on your ass and you were being publicly humiliated. That was a season. I'll say one thing about Karen. Love her or hate her, Karen is strong as hell. She did not let that shit stop her or break her. And she came back even stronger. She came back even stronger. Let me tell you something. So Val said, wasn't Eddie following 100 Instagram booty models? Now, first of all, that just sounds like a lie because who is following 100 Instagram booty models? And not even that, if Eddie's family and friends are also on Instagram, you don't think that's odd on your follow list? I mean, I can believe it was Eddie's Finsta, but y'all trying to tell me on his actual Instagram account that his kids even know about? There's 100 big booty hole Instagram accounts on? No. I don't believe that's true. If it was his Finsta, maybe, but his Instagram account, there's just no way. And to that point, it's funny how, Mia's like, Eddie couldn't take his eyes off of me because I saw the way G's eyes were on a scala when she walked in. She walked in and he was like, Who's that? Hey, I heard so much about you. He was on a scala. A scala was looking lovely last night. Lovely. Let's take a few comments. Let's see. All the brown girls on the yeah, and I agree with you. Anne said that she thinks that Mia thinks everybody wants her. I think Mia gets a lot of power in her powers of seduction, right? A lot of women that I know that are not into, but they actually have occupations like that. Not that, okay, fine. I don't know that many people. The two people I've known in my life that actually did strip. Yeah, I'm trying to act like I'm a connoisseur. Like the two people in my life.
You're the connoisseur of sex work.
Exactly. I'm like, okay, fine. The two people in my life that are known that have been strippers, dancers, it's part of the trade. It's almost like mechanical. I mean, oddly enough, they end up hating men, but it's mechanical because you learn that men are like animals. And if a dog, if you go like this, the dog's going to bark. If you go like this, the dog's going to behave. You're right. So you're trained in the things of sensual seduction. That's fine. But I do think that with Mia, she uses that as a point of power. Again, I think Mia is that type of person that you went through a lot. Mia's strong as hell. She's endured way more than I've ever had to and anything that I hope to. We've all been through shit, but Mia's shit, I was like, okay, fine, you had me. It was harder for you, right? But I think Mia gets her power from controlling situations. And I think that that's where she found a part of her power. I think Mia at one point said, I'm fine. I've worked out my issues with my mom. We're fine. I'm different Mia. I'm not the same girl in foster care. And that's one thing about reality TV, right? It will rid you of your delusions very, very quickly. And it's not just Mia. Everyone that goes on reality TV has delusions. And that's why usually the second or third season, those delusions get knocked down because the people in your life will let you have these delusions of grandeur. But on national TV, it's harder to keep up. Like I'm sure Mia has these confrontations. And I'm only using me as an example because that's what we're talking about, but I think everyone does. You have your own life. You can control who's around you, and you can keep like this lie in your head going about who you are, how you are. I'm the baddest thing walking and smartest thing talking, right? But then on reality TV, you have a million people seeing that like the emperor has no, and you get knocked off of that high horse. So I don't know. I hope that Mia and Candiace can make up, but like I think Judgy, you brought it up, right? And way on this, Judgy, I think you brought it up that, or was it Kimmy that Mia is working with Monique. So on that point, I think there's not going to be any peace because Mia's decided that if she goes after Candiace and she steps into Monique's shoes, not Monique from other seasons, but the last season, that she'll secure her spot on the show. And you know what? She wasn't wrong because between her and Escala, Mia's the one that got the champagne glass. And I believe that Mia and Escala deserved the champagne glass. But we see why Mia got the champagne glass, you know? Yeah. And to the point, let's read this also before we go, right? Oh yeah, so little TisaTellss, jump in here. I'm just gonna read this comment and then we'll go to little TisaTellss, Judgy Justice, I haven't heard from you, Taylor, and Kimmy. Candiace never had a problem. They want to come for her and then they want her to react. I agree with colorism. Shout out to Erica De Niro. She said it from Erica De Niro did call it from day one. She really the diva, Erica De Niro. Y'all, if you guys don't follow Erica De Niro on YouTube, make sure you do. I remember last season, her reviews, her and Rodney's the voices, Brooke Ashley, and who else? Conjure Canary. Their reviews would have me dying. But Rodney, Erica, woo, Brooke, they had me on the floor. But yeah. All right. So, oh, and Misha, do you guys watch IMO Misha? In my opinion, Misha, she has like this little, like, not avatar, but this 3D rendering of herself. You guys, IMO, in my opinion, Misha, IMO Misha, she does fantastic recaps. And here's the thing, if you guys are overseas, my panels right now, we recap it a little and then we go into like debating like we do here. If you're overseas, and whenever I go overseas, IMO, her recaps are super, super, super detailed. So if you cannot see the episode, she'll give you what you need. And she's super funny too. Okay. So, Anne's in Japan. Okay. So we'll go to little TisaTellss. Then we'll go to Judgy Justice. And then everybody can just jump in as they see fit. But go ahead, little TisaTellss. Jump in and add a few more things. Little TisaTellss. Hold on. Okay, so who wants to talk? Judgy Justice?
I'll talk. Until she hops in.
Okay.
So another part of this was that I don't think we really talked about was just like how boring and pathetic the Green-Eyed Bandits are without the other ladies. They can't sustain the show on their own. Even though they wish they could, they wouldn't be able to because they don't have that much going on, or at least that's what the cameras are showing. And I really think they just showed them for that hot second just because they got to get paid for this episode, because they get paid per episode they're in, and they didn't want to piss them off.
Do you think it's that they can't carry it, or do you think that they're just literally throwing the new girls to the wolves? Because I do notice that when you make a deal in production, you throw your cast members to, and production leaves you alone.
I think that she's throwing. I think she's throwing. I think they are throwing them to the wolves in a sense, for them to be that and setting it up in the background and bone collecting by setting up Ashley to bone collect this back over this and that one, and then like for even like Giselle to even double down like on Watch What Happens Live, because I have that on recording too. I finally got to watch it today. Was that she even said on there that that, you know, well, we said it was, we didn't think it was true, but you keep bringing it up in your confessionals, which are taped after you're done with the whole show. You keep bringing this up. So instead of just being honest that, hey, we're on reality TV, you know, we have to keep the show going. I just tell the word on the street. I would have more respect for that than for like someone to keep like trying to push it off on Wendy. Like this is all delusional. Like this is like, that's the thing that pisses me off with them, is that they try to play it off like everyone else is delusional when they're the delusional ones. You know, they're like, you know, the unmarried wedding ring bandits. They have matching cars with each other without not ban. Like literally they do. They both have like they have matching Range Rovers. Like that's something you do with your mate. Unless like they got something to tell us next season, which will make all the difference.
No, I completely agree with that. I will say also that I think also the issue is that I don't understand why Candiace is held to a different standard. Again, Candiace may have went too far last night, and she might have been able to pull back just a little bit, right? But again, I just don't understand why people didn't have this condemnation for Karen when she said that about Giselle, or when Giselle went after Monique, right? Allegedly, you know, depending on who you ask. I just don't understand that. Like, what do you guys think about that?
I think it really sucks. Go ahead. I've talked a lot. Go ahead. I said my
I just feel like I feel like I don't know. I feel like so people were saying that Candiace is like aggressive and like whatever. But I'm like, at the end of the day, Candiace didn't put her hands on anybody. Like, she can talk all day, but I personally, my morals, like as an adult, I can't put my life in jeopardy, especially if you have kids and like businesses to lose or like real things that you could lose. Why would you be putting your hands on somebody or be threatening violence? I don't think Candiace has ever done that. And even if she did, like, we know she's not from the streets. Candiace was born into money. Like, she's not about to fight anybody. That was literally like her first fight when she fought Monique or got dragged by Monique because she actually didn't fight her. So, like, I don't see how people are calling her the aggressive one when, again, like, Monique was the one who attacked her. She put her hands on her first. And then Mia was the only one that was like threatening. She was like, if she says this or that again, like, it's going to be a different story. Like, I'm going to have to drag her or whatever she threatened to do to her. It didn't make sense to me that people were like, oh, but Candiace is the aggressive one. Candiace is just defending herself. Even if she goes too far with it, she wouldn't be sitting here saying anything to anybody if nobody attacked her first. So I don't understand that.
Oh, you know what? I completely agree with you guys on that. I do think with the Candiace situation, I think that she was provoked. Um, Again, I don't, just like you don't, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Here's the thing. Both things can be true. Candiace could have been wrong in that situation, and people are still being too hard on her. Because again, even when Candiace is right, she's wrong. And when she's wrong, she's extra wrong. So again, would I have gone and called Mia a stripper and this and pimp get your hoe and all this stuff? That was mad disrespectful, right? And that would have been something to cause a fight. However, we're here to shade. Mia understood the assignment and she didn't put her hands on Candiace. But I think that all things can be true. Candiace can be wrong and people can still be too hard on her. In that episode, I don't know if Candiace was actually wrong because I don't understand the way people, it's like you have to meet people where they're at. Just like Mia doesn't want anybody talking about her mom, Candiace is very sensitive about her career and proving herself, not just to everyone, but to the world. And for Mia to call her low budget when Candiace is worried about that shit being low budget and Candiace knows that she's putting in all that thing and this might be the biggest flop and the whole world might be laughing at her. I don't know. Yeah. Listen, so JFT Facts said Candiace called Ashley wide body at the lunch. Listen, Ashley was not saying anything to Candiace at the lunch. I understand that, but from last season, Ashley actually wrote a statement. To get Monique out of thing and saying that Candiace was a menace. So Candiace and Ashley don't like each other, and Ashley knows it's on site for her. And not even that, Candiace was nice enough to press pause on the beef, so Ashley could have a healthy pregnancy. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you can't take people that don't dislike each other and been like, oh, well, all she did was just sit there. I don't know. So, I don't know. I think that listen, thank you guys so much for joining this isn't recaps, right? Thank you guys so much for joining this session about what's Candiace wrong. I'm gonna be on live as we develop things during the week for us to talk about it. Come on, it's just gonna be me and you guys. You guys can talk. Thank you so much, Judgy Justice, Kimmy, and Taylor, and little TisaTellss. Thank you so much for coming on. And I'm forgetting someone else. And Taylor and little TisaTellss. There's somebody else I'm forgetting, but I love you anyway. Thank you guys for coming on. I appreciate it. And I have to get off because I have to prep because we are going to do a Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recap. Me and Mel are coming on. You guys are welcome to come back and also to call in. It's happening at 8:30. So it's going to be in, 17 minutes. On this channel, if you guys want to get into Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, go on and give that a holler and come back. All right, everyone. So thank you so much for joining, everyone. And I'll either see you on the Salt Lake City recap. Oh wait, Judgy Justice. Before we go on, babe. You wanted to say something.
Oh, okay. Sorry, but so one thing I wanted to say real quick is that I have since started my own channel with inspiration from you guys here on YouTube. So I do have some videos. I'm slowly putting up content, and you guys.
What's your channel on, babe?
Judgy Justice on YouTube.
Judgy Justice, and tell them a little bit about your content. What are you focused on?
So my thing is I'm focused on things that I like to watch. So I'm going to be doing Real Housewives of Potomac, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and I'm going in Beverly Hills. So I got those three. And then also I'll be doing Ready to Love on OWN. So when that starts up on October 15th, we'll be getting recaps of that. And I usually do about 2 recaps on it. So I give my initial focus, like what my initial synopsis of, and then when I watch it again and I think about it and write down notes, then I give you a bigger video shortly after.
All right, Mama, that sounds good. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, you guys, I gotta go prep for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City review. It'll be on this channel in about 15 minutes. You guys come back and join me. It will be good. And don't forget, this Mia and Candiace thing is not over. And you know, when Instagram comes back up, you know Mia is going to let those Twitter fingers sing, and Candiace is going to be right back, clapping back. So this is not over, and I'll be there to keep you guys posted, all right? And B, Mama, thank you. You are my angel. Thank you so much for moderating. You always come through. She stays with that trigger finger ready, like a sniper, like say something, no violence. I love B. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, everybody, thanks so much, and I'll see you guys back, hopefully, for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City review. It's happening with me and Mel, and I'll be here on this channel in 20 minutes. All right, guys, talk to you guys later. Thank you, everybody, for calling in.